Hey baddies, welcome to Called to Be Bad. For those of you who are not on social media, I want to let you know why I was absent for about a month. I was building a podcasting computer with my friend Brad Sandlin. You may recognize his voice from the beginning tracks. Him and my friend Casey were the ones who sang our intro song. Anyways, we are back in business. I've been also experimenting with doing a little bit longer episodes, so please let me know how you feel about that. If you prefer the shorter episodes, I love to hear your feedback. Also, while I'm on here, why don't you go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Leave a review on any of the podcasting sites and check out our Patreon. It would be my dream to have this podcast fully funded, that this would be part of my vocation. Anyways, this episode will be a little bit different from our typical episode. This is part one of a two-part episode featuring our guest Davi, who takes me through the experience of spiritual direction through the lens of live-action role-playing games. One of the most commonly known live-action role-playing games, or LARPing, is Dungeons & Dragons. So that's why it's called Dungeons & Dragons and God, ? And so this first episode is me experiencing spiritual direction through this live action game. Part two will be a little bit more in depth as far as what is spiritual direction, what is live action role playing games, and how can the two meet to come together and make something really beautiful.
Okay. 1, 2, ready, go.
Welcome to the Called to Be Bad podcast. My name is Mariah Martin, and I feel called to be bad. It turns out I'm not the only one. Join us as we dig into all things bad, scandalous, deviant, you know, the stuff that makes good church folks squirm in the sanctuary. Why? Well, because sometimes the scandalous is spiritual, deviant is divine, and bad is beautiful. Say yes to the call, and let's see what holy trouble we get into today. Hello, Davi.
Hello.
Welcome to Called to Be Bad.
I'm honored. I'm so excited.
Yes. And so I'm gonna let Davi introduce themselves.
I would love to. Yeah. So my name's Davi Weasley. I'm a pastor up here in Bellingham, Washington, which is like the northwest corner of the continental U.S. practically. And I'm a trans person and a queer person. I'm married to Rachel, who's a church planter at Community of Hope Mennonite Church, which is mostly online, so check it out. I'm a parent to a 4-year-old who is fabulous, and it's like having a minor fire elemental for a delightful roommate. It's very great. Let's see, I grew up in Western New York, did college in Northeast Ohio, did grad school in Chicago, and we lived in Chicago about 10 years before moving out here in 2015. So my role out here, I'm the pastor for Youth, Young Adults, and Mission at First Congregational Church of Bellingham, which is a UCC church. And today we're going to be talking some about role-playing games. I started playing role-playing games. Depending how you count them, I guess I started formally in college, but I was pretending to be a superhero and running around the playground very early on in my development, and that was very formative for me. I would say the other thing to know about my background is I'm trained in spiritual direction. Can I say what spiritual direction is, Mariah, or should I assume that people kind of know?
No.
So,
no, please go ahead.
Spiritual direction is this like delightful and strange form of ministry, originally a kind of medieval Catholic, but it's grown into all kinds of different traditions. And when I go see my spiritual director, her job is to hold space for me as I listen for what I'm hearing from the Spirit. And so it can look all kinds of different ways. And when I was doing my training in that, I had some like extra classes to fill, and I wanted to do some kind of spiritual direction extended technique. And so I got to do one using tarot as a context for spiritual exploration, and one as role-playing games. And so when Mariah and I were talking the other day, we thought we should maybe give that a try.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. And so this will be part one of a 2-part series where we use role-playing games as a vehicle As a means of spiritual direction? What's the verb?
Context.
Context. There we go. Yeah. And so this will be different for me. I am a participant, less host than I don't know, guest. And so, yeah, go ahead. Take it away. I'm ready. I've got my beautiful
Look at that.
die, right? Singular.
Die is the singular. Dice is the plural. I invited Mariah to find she, her pronouns for you, right, Mariah?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
To find herself a 20-sided die, not because it's particularly important for playing role-playing games, but because they're A, like historical and iconic in the hobby, and B, just really fun to roll. There's just something about them. So I've got mine. Should I need it? Should I need to generate some random numbers towards telling a story? So today we're going to try to take about an hour and do a role-playing game from start to finish. A lot of times when people play role-playing games, they sit down with their friends, they play for 3 or 4 or 12 hours, and that's like one session of an ongoing story arc. And that's maybe the most common way, and certainly a lot of people who play Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of the like biggest name at least in the US in role-playing games, do it in that way. But there's all kinds of valid ways to tell fun kind of improv-y stories with your friends, and I'm going to try to do one of those. So it'll be shorter, and also it's been a while since I've done just with one person at a time, and so a lot of my work in this context is with groups. So we're going to see how this goes, and I'm delighted. I feel a little bit like when you go see a stage magician and they're like, we haven't met, right? We haven't prepared this ahead of time. I don't need to do that. But when we were preparing for this conversation or for this show, we decided to not even choose a character, but also not choose like a genre or anything like that for the game. And so I guess my question for you, Mariah, is like, since we've talked, is there any kind of story that's kind of drawn you? And that might be like, oh yeah, like let's tell a love story, or that might be like, let's do something in space, or that might be like, I want to be really powerful. So it just like maybe sit with that a minute and see if anything comes up. And if not, fine, because I can ask you more specific questions.
Love like supernatural worlds. Like I love vampires, werewolves, witches, that kind of thing. From like a more spiritual perspective, like I view like God and spirit as with like bird imagery, wings flying. Yeah, I'm just naming things that I like. But I would invite more direction there.
Oh my God. This is so good. We're like almost there, but okay. But I can ask you another question if you like.
Yeah.
This is I think it's important for me to some extent in role-playing games, and certainly in a spiritual direction context, that like I want to give somebody enough framework that they really have something to work with and they don't feel like they're like flailing, and I don't want to give people too much framework where it's like they feel constrained. Like that can be a fun way to play role-playing games, but I don't want to do that today. Like I played one role-playing game where we were all kung fu vegetables, and like that was great, but it was like a very specific setting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I guess like, are there stories that are on your heart these days? And I don't mean necessarily like, oh yeah, that thing about Jesus where he does the thing and I've just been crying about it, but it could be just like, I cannot stop thinking about this one episode of Gilmore Girls, or like Iron Man 2, or I don't know, The Chamber of Secrets.
Nick and I, my spouse, we're reading the 6th Harry Potter book right now.
Ooh.
Not Chamber of Secrets, but stories that are on my heart. I mean, I just preached, I did a series on Ruth, and then I preached on Abram and Sarai, like, as they were being called from God. And both of those settings, they're like setting out on a journey. Like they are, and when I preached on it, I kept hearing, Into the Unknown in Frozen 2. Yep. You know what? That's it. Frozen 2. That is the story on my heart right now. I love that movie. I honestly think it's a spiritual experience. Yeah, so I talked about like setting out into the unknown on this journey.
And remind me, so I've seen Frozen 2 and I really loved it, but it's been a long time. So, and I have a bad memory. It's the more relevant thing. So, like, what do you love about it? Is that a fair question?
Yeah. So like briefly what happens is Elsa, the like Snow Queen, it's Elsa and Anna are the main character sisters.
Right.
And Elsa starts literally hearing this voice, this voice beckoning her. And at first she's like, "What are you doing? Leave me alone. I don't need this right now." And then she realizes that something inside of her is also like pushing her to follow this voice. And it ends up being that Elsa, in listening to this voice, she upset or she like awoke the elemental spirits. And so there was fire, earth, water, air. Then her mission is to find the fifth spirit.
Yeah.
And so she goes off and she like interacts with all four of those spirits on her way to find the fifth spirit. And there's also this undercurrent of like discovering what happened to her parents, and also even before that, there like it deals with like colonialism, and so like her ancestors, they
because they had the like positive relationship with the like kind of indigenous Reed group, and then they like tried to take more than was theirs. Yeah. Okay.
And so she's like trying to discover the truth of what happened there.
Cool. Let me just like, I also want to throw up a caveat here, which is this is going to be a role-playing game. This is hopefully going to feel like sweet spiritual companionship. The first person who taught me about spiritual direction was like, if you do it right, it's like heart massage. And so I hope that there's some of that for you. And like, this is a show, and like, folks are going to watch this, and hopefully it's good for folks watching that. But I just want to invite you to attend to, like if it was just the two of us in a room, I'd be like, don't say more to me than you want to say, And so like, just like, I want to honor the part of this that's like, has an added layer of complexity and maybe an added form of sacredness, because it's like, not just for you, it's like for the community. So, anyway.
And I tend to be more of like an open book and perhaps an overshare. So I will edit out if I
okay, cool.
don't want to put it out to the world.
I forgot it's not live. What a good tool.
Yeah. Okay, and great. Also like check myself, like I don't need to tell everyone everything, but like I, share what is meaningful. And
content warning, spoilers for Frozen 2, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me kind of pitch something, and then let's play with it until it feels like something you want to walk around in, or you want your character to walk around in. So I would love, I think a journey narrative is really compelling, and it works well in role-playing games, we say one shot to mean like a story that's just going to be self-contained and happen once, instead of like part of an ongoing episodic campaign. So I think a journey narrative fits well for a one shot, because you start from a place and you're trying to get it to a place, and you do or you don't, but that's the end of the story, or at least the stopping place for now. I'm really interested in the overlap of supernatural stories, werewolf, vampires, etc., and bird imagery. So my first thought is like, oh, well, you're like somebody who's got some like bird magic, or you're haunted by a bird or something. And then I think there's a couple of questions in terms of both tone and, well, there's tone questions and setting questions. The tone question is it kind of I can't really do scary, like that's not my skill set, but like kind of modern horror game in the sense of like, people play games about vampires or werewolves, or kind of like modern day wizards where like you're on the south side of Chicago having adventures, but you have magical powers. As opposed to like more of a secondary world, like more kind of like fancy, what I think of as fantasy, even though they have a lot of the same tropes, setting where like it doesn't look at all like our world. There's major changes. So like I think of a primary world versus secondary world. Like is it mostly like our Earth, or is it mostly not? And I don't know if you have an inkling about that.
I kind of like the idea of it being either like in our world, but like out in the wilderness somewhere, like in the mountains, or in a different world, like a less inhabited world, like more wildernessy, foresty.
Okay. Great.
Did that answer your question?
Yep. And I think for my sake, just because I don't want to do any research right now, we'll just have it be in a world that like has some of the same geography and plants and animals as our world, and maybe some others as well, but like doesn't have recognizable. You can't like call an Uber and go to the Pizza Hut, even if you would like hike 12 hours, you know. And maybe we can let's just leave it deliberately vague as to whether it's in the wilds of our world or some other setting.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could do like I forget, you're Oregon or Washington? You're in Washington.
Washington, yeah.
Okay. Because I've been to Oregon and Washington, so I can like imagine the like forests and
Yeah, we can use that as a starting place for what the forests are like. And,
or we could do I grew up in Colorado, we could do Colorado forests, mountains.
I don't know those forests as well, so let's do the.
Okay, I can picture it.
Cool, great. It's just rainier is how I imagine it, but I don't know. Okay, and so let's see. Let's do kind of like a countryside, and there's little towns here and there. Normally I'd say like who's your character, but I actually first want to ask who's going with your character.
Oh, I can like take someone with me?
I think you should.
Like a person, animal, spirit.
Those are 3 of the major options, yes.
I
guess I'm interested. I will say, like, to pull the curtain back a little, like, it'll be maybe helpful for you to have someone to have a conversation with as you're traveling.
Okay.
Whatever species that person is, or whatever kind of entity they are,
they can talk to me.
Maybe, but I don't know.
So I dropped my die. I had a ferret in middle school, and he was my little buddy, and his name was Mocha. So can I take Mocha with me?
You absolutely can take Mocha. Can Mocha talk in this world?
Yes. Okay,
awesome. Will it be all right if I do the voice of Mocha?
Sure.
Okay, what's Mocha's personality like?
Mocha is in this world. It's very goofy. Ferrets are very playful. They're kind of like kittens their whole life, so like kitten energy. But also love to like snuggle up and fall asleep next to me.
This is great.
I wish I could, if we had a second, I could get a picture of Mocha.
I think we have a second.
Yeah, should I get a picture of Mocha?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I know this is not live, but I could hear the audience demanding that you go get a picture of your middle school ferret.
We want to see Mocha. Here's Mocha. Let's see if it... I had him wrapped up in a little, I don't know, blanket type thing. And his eyes look red, but I think it's just the flash. Here's one of him sleeping. It's not the best picture, but there's him all curled up.
Okay, let's assume that in this world, Mocha also has, in addition to being able to speak, Mocha also has some kind of magical power.
Okay.
What do you think that is?
So I tell stories to my nephews and niece, and they were stories that I told kids that I would babysit growing up, and they were Sally and Tally stories, and Sally could talk to her parrot Tally, and Tally could talk to all the other animals, which isn't really like a magical gift, but then like Tally could translate.
Yes. No,
Sally.
That's good.
So like Mocha can talk to all the other animals and creatures.
Yep. Okay. Now, who did your character want to have come along? Who didn't come along because for some reason?
Like, who did we intentionally leave behind?
No. Who did you? Who decided not to come with you, or who thinks that your trip is a bad idea?
Nick thought the trip was a bad idea because he doesn't like flying.
Wait.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay, this is good. Let me stay with you. So I was imagining like some like fantasy character like taking this ferret across the. If you want to play like just you can. I'll say two things about that. One is it can
I'm sorry. Am I me with Mocha, or is that what you're explaining? It's not me with Mocha.
Well, I was imagining that you would be playing some character with Mocha, and a character that we haven't quite like gotten into.
Got it.
So that I maybe did that in the wrong word.
So in this world, like the people I know don't necessarily exist.
That's what I was imagining. But if you want to, it's your hour. So I think it can be helpful to.
Okay, I got it.
Now I'm wondering why I was like yes to the ferret and no to like your spouse. And I think like for me, it's helpful to like play a character who is like me in some ways and maybe unlike me in other ways. And it can be a way of accessing like parts of myself that want some airtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I'm with you. Okay, so
let's say that you are somebody leaving a village in the Western Mountains, and you're trying to get somewhere, and we don't know where yet. We're going to get to that. Taking with you, you're definitely taking your beloved friend Mocha, who is a magical talking ferret who can also talk to other creatures. Very handy guy to have around.
Yeah.
And so like when you set out, like who did you invite that said no, or who doesn't want you to go, or something like that?
Okay, so can I have my bunnies? So I have 3 bunnies.
Okay.
In real life and also in this world.
Okay.
And so it's Peppa and Eugene and Griffin, and they don't want to go, and they don't want me to go because, well, bunnies are kind of like little homebodies. They like routine. They want me to stay home and stay safe like them. They're curious and also like scared of everything.
Okay, cool. And then like who is this person that's going on a journey?
Can she have like so I was thinking of this character as like, so I'm Mariah Kate Martin, that Kate's my middle name. And so like, can it be Kate? Like this kind of like alter ego Kate person?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and Kate is different from you in that they live in this, at least differently magical world than our own. How else are they different?
Well, I think Kate should be able to fly somehow. Or is like a dragon shifter or something, or like an eagle shifter.
Okay. Oh, right. Because of the bird thing.
Yeah, because of the bird thing.
Okay, actually, this is a time. Here's where your die comes in. Do you have a piece of paper and something to write with?
Yeah.
So you're going to make a character sheet, which is a fun thing to make. It's very often very elaborate, but this one will be pretty simple. So write Kate at the top, and then write 2 things that Kate is pretty good at, and then 1 thing that Kate is really good, and we'll see what comes up.
Okay, so she's pretty good at hiking.
Okay.
Backpacking.
So write +3 next to hiking.
Okay. And she's really good at Taekwondo.
Awesome. Okay, so write +5 next to Taekwondo. Well, and would you like the +3, the other thing you're pretty good at, to be bird magic?
Or we could do pretty good at Taekwondo and hiking, and then really good at bird magic.
You're already min-maxing your character. Congratulations. I'm sure that would be fun.
What maxing?
Sorry, min-maxing is this meme in role-playing games where you like try to like make your character really good at some things by making them like bad at most things. And I was joking. The nerds on the feed will appreciate it. If you want, I think like honestly, I think if the thing that she's like most about is bird magic, then have that be the +5.
Okay. Taekwondo +3, because I'm still learning about it. I mean, not that I like know everything about bird magic. Really good at bird magic.
Well, and we'll and we don't have to define what bird magic means. And just like whenever you want to do some bird magic, you'll say what you want to do. You'll roll your d20. You'll add 5 to it, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have? Is there some? Where are you trying to get? Where's Kate trying to get?
Kate is trying to summit a mountain.
Does the mountain have a name? We can name it later. You can.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a bird-related name, kind of.
Mm.
It's the the Talon Cliffs.
Yep.
Talon Cliffs. Cliff.
And why is she trying to summon it? Actually, we'll discover that as we play. And is there anything she's particularly worried about? What's the hazards like in this neck of the woods?
Well, there's definitely some creatures she wants to watch out for.
Okay.
Should I start naming creatures?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to, you don't. I got creatures for days over here.
Okay, you can. I'll go with your creatures.
Okay. And is there anybody who is likely to try to prevent her from succeeding, or is it more just like kind of like the natural environment and the wild creatures?
I'd say natural environment and wild creatures.
Great. All right. So, do you mind if we start?
Yeah.
All right. And what pronouns for Kate?
She, her.
Great. And does Kate kind of like look like you generally? Like, are they like 8 feet tall or 6? Or...
Yeah, she looks like me when I think about like me in my like soccer prime. So like me with like more muscles.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. But same age as you now?
Sure. Yeah, I'm 29.
Okay. I mean,
just so you some idea.
Yeah. No, I was thinking more in terms of like life stage than particular numbers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Same life stage.
Yeah. Does she have a family of her own, or it's just her and her animals? That's the own kind of family. I don't mean to hate on the buddy families. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, me and my animals are family, and
great.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll join Kate as she and Milka set out one fall morning, which, as everybody knows, is the best season to climb the Talon Cliffs. You set out from the little town of Bell's Hollow, and you've brought with you a little pack, and you have traveled some through the hills and through the mountains, mostly just from town to town to see your friends, to visit a particular artisan, to see family, that kind of thing. You've done overnights in the more wilderness, but this will be your first trip of this length. This is from the people you've talked to, and it's a little bit hard to get information on this because it's not like there's a mountaineering club in the town of Bell's Hall. It's very small, but talking to travelers coming through town, you think it'll take you like a week, 10 days, something like that, to get up and back down the Talon Cliffs. You can't even see the Talon Cliffs from where you are because you're kind of coming out of a winding, not a ravine, but like a creek valley, you know. And so when you get to the top of that valley, you left early to make good time. Would you like to do the scene where you say goodbye to the bunnies, or should we just have that be? Okay, so as you're climbing, you think back to your kind of like goodbyes to Peppa Griffin, and
Eugene.
I had a moment where I was like, it can't be Eugene. Okay. Okay, so they're in their luxurious appointed bunny habitat. They're in your simple cottage in the small town there. And which of them would be kind of the ringleader for this conversation? Peppa. So Peppa says, Kate, I don't think you should go.
Peppa, I gotta go.
Kate, there's like scary stuff out there. And look how warm it is here. And we just baked muffins the other day.
I know, it's so warm and cozy in here. I put extra hay in your hay basket. You'll be just fine. You and Eugene can keep each other company. Griffin, you'll be fine. I gotta go, but I'll see you when I come back.
Kate, you're trying to avoid my questions by talking about the hay. And normally that would work, but I'm very concerned. What if something happens out there in the wilderness? Why do you have to go?
I don't know why I have to go. I just gotta. There's the mountains are calling and I must go. And if something happens to me, I will tell someone to come care for you.
Tiffany the Miller.
Tiffany the Miller.
Yeah, that'll be okay, but we'll be really sad if you get eaten by wolves.
I know, me too.
And scene. Okay, so we see you kind of like not furtively, stoically, you're starting to like get a little bit not winded, but like breathe a little harder as you take the winding path that leads north from Bell's Hollow. And as you crest the edge of the valley there, you can see both in the distance the beautiful Talon Cliffs, where you just need to go. But you can also see the first of several major geographic challenges that are between you and the summit. What do you reckon that is?
There's a big river, like not like your little stream, like rushing river, and there's like steep switchbacks, and maybe a cave.
Okay. So this is going to be Mocha's voice. Feel free to. So, and I should have said at the beginning, like, if anything happens in the story that doesn't feel like it's the right fit for your story, just like hit pause or say pause. I mean, and we'll back it up because we're here for you to explore the story and to see what this is like, and not to like have you have a bad time because you're afraid of bees and there's a bunch of bee action in it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So Mocha says something like, that's really far away, Kate.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna get there.
Oh, I'm sure we can get there because we got that backpack full of muffins, and we got each other, and I think there was something else on my list, but I don't remember it right now, but I will.
I'm sure you will.
So how are we gonna get across this river? I don't swim that good.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know this about ferrets, but we are not renowned for our rivercraft. As far as I know. Yeah,
no. Your cousins, the otters, maybe they can help us. Are there otters in Oregon? Well, there's
my otter cousins. Well, we're not in Oregon. We're in a fantasy land that is kind of like, so we're fine. Yeah, let's find some otters. So this will be fun. Mariah, can you roll your d20 and add your, what do we call it, hiking skills? This will be to find some otters, hopefully.
Okay, it's 1.
Oh.
So we got 4.
Okay.
So it's not very high.
So it's a swingy system. There's downsides to the D20 too. It's not for everybody, but it works good for this kind of one shot. So you do find, the good news is you find an otter den. The bad news is you have found a mean mutant otter wolf hybrid called an otter wolf. And you like poke your head in. Are there any otters in there? Oh, actually, probably Mocha would do. Are there any otters in there? And he hears a growl and a menacing roar, and he says, "Uh-oh!" And charging out of the darkness comes this. It's about 8 feet long. It's got big pointy teeth. It's like frothing in anger, and it's going to try to eat you.
Shoot. So I scoop up Mocha and we start running away because we're not going to tame the otter wolf hybrid.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is probably an opportunity for another hiking roll to see if you can outrun the, because it's got a lot of legs.
Yeah. I'm rolling 4.
Okay.
So 7.
Because you rolled a 1 and then you added the.
No, I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you got up to 7. Okay.
Yeah.
The otter wolf rears up and it chases you right up the side of the mountain. So you decide. I mean, you very naturally decide to scurry up the side of the cliff above the river. And you think that hopefully the otter wolf won't be able to follow, but it's got such sharp claws. Claws? Yeah.
Not
that it's able to just like dig into the rock itself. And so it's like nipping at your heels. And it's got, and I will say that it has drawn a bead on Mocha. And Mocha's like, Kate, I don't like the way that creature's looking at me. You should do something.
I can use my taekwondo, can't I? On the river.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I roundhouse kick.
Well, roll taekwondo and we'll see how well it goes.
Okay. I'll roll taekwondo.
This might not
19.
Look at that. Okay. So So you're hanging from 2 arms and you drop and roundhouse kick and knock it right off the mountain. Does that sound good?
Yeah. And it's fine.
Right.
I don't hurt it. It stuns.
Okay, you just show it who's boss.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I will say that the otter wolf falls and is very angry, but looks at you and like decides that you're not worth it, having been soundly kicked in the nose. And in a fit of rage, it just like pushes a pile of rocks and boulders that are nearby, which conveniently roll out into the river and force something of a unsteady but serviceable footbridge.
Yeah.
So you should be able to walk across there.
Perfect.
That was pretty badass, Kate.
Why, thank you, Mocha.
I know you've been training in Taekwondo, but I've never seen you kick a monster before.
Yep, I've been working on my kicking skills.
Where do you think that giant mutant otter wolf came from?
It's probably been drinking the river water, which has been poisoned.
Oh no, poison river water.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So we better not fall in the river.
Okay, so you are able to, and yeah, Mocha just looks with wide eyes as you precariously but gracefully step across the river, and you see the.
Why didn't I use my bird magic to fly across the river?
Only Kate knows.
Kate forgot. She forgot for a second, and she.
I mean, it might be dramatic to wait and bust out the bird magic later on. Maybe it's the kind of magic that like is
She hasn't
used
really
sparingly.
fully tapped into her bird magic yet. She doesn't realize that she has it.
Oh, maybe she's never used it.
She doesn't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. We'll know when it's time. All right, so you do journey on some more. You spend a chilly but cozy night in your little bedroll with Mocha there around a little fire. Have the rest of those leftover muffins, and then forage for some berries and delicious edible pine cone burgers and whatnot in the morning. I'm curious. Oh, actually, I'll do it in the voice of Mocha. So it's the next morning. You're hiking on a very small but seemingly well maintained path, and so you're just covering a lot of ground that morning. And partway through the morning, Mocha's like, "Hey, Kate, this is farther than I've ever been from home." And then it was like, "But wait a second, is this also the farthest you've been from home?"
Yeah, this is. I've never been this far away. Especially this long away from Peppa and Eugene and Griffin.
Oh yeah, I miss those goofy rabbits.
Yeah.
I don't miss their endless dad jokes though. That's a really
Also, since you try to eat them sometimes.
Well, it's my love language. just like that otter wolf really loved me.
It's in your nature. It's in your nature.
Exactly. How is it for you to be so far from home though?
I'm okay. I enjoy sleeping under the stars and eating our meals over the fire. I mean, I miss them, but I still know I need to do this.
How did you first find out you needed to do this?
I think it was I kept dreaming about these cliffs and just knew I needed to go explore them.
I have dreams sometimes.
What do you dream about, Mocha?
Minnows? How delicious they are?
You would dream about food.
What else is there to dream about? But you had dreams about this. Okay, well, I'm glad to be with you, and I'm glad I don't have to do all the walking. Am I right?
Oh my gosh, little freeloader on my shoulders there.
You love it. Okay, and we fade out, and we see it's a day later, and it's just about nightfall. And you've hiked a variety of trails and switchbacks and terrains, and you see right on the it's much farther up this same what is called the Wide River, and was a wide river when you needed to ford it with the river otter / wolf creature, and you see that there's an unusual building right next to the river, and which is really more like a creek up here, and it's got a strange kind of greenish yellow smoke coming out of it, And right near it is, you would probably recognize a mine, I think. Yeah, you've probably either seen or heard about mines. It's a mine, but it's not copper or gold. It's something else. And you can hear kind of a like steady hammering sound from down in the mine. Look at this place, Kate. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, what is going on in there? What do you think that smoke is?
Well, I don't know. It smells pretty funny to me. We could stop in and see if they have any minnows and ask them what the smoke is.
Yeah, we could. But maybe that's what's been poisoning the river is the yellow-green stuff.
Oh, those are often the colors of poison in cartoon, which I watched on my previously aforementioned and my previously not mentioned television set.
Yeah. Of course.
Wildly anachronistic. Anyway,
they always have screens, and you're like, what?
Those ferrets, they always one way.
Tablet. I mean, I guess we can go and
Mocha's been on his phone this whole time.
Yeah. You know, like cats can play on apps where they like watch birds.
Yeah, just Angry Birds, just for like.
Yeah, Mocha's got his tablet. No, we can go knock and see what's inside. I mean, we're almost out of water, so.
Oh yeah, maybe they've got some water if they haven't poisoned it all.
Potentially poisoned water.
Potentially poisoned water. That's what I don't like to drink. So you just walk up and bang on the door?
Yep. Knock on the door.
All right. I'm going to say a older white guy in a business suit opens the door. It's a little surprising for this far out. I don't know that you would have had occasion to see anyone in a business suit, maybe in your entire life, but this guy is definitely wearing a business suit.
Bad vibes.
And he says,
immediately.
Good evening. Can I help you? I'm sorry, we're not accepting solicitors at this time.
I'm here to tell you about your good Lord Jesus. Okay. You've not heard about that. Hi.
In this factory, we worship Akram, the sky goddess, and no one else.
That's fair. So I'm going to use a fake name because I don't trust this person. I'm Marisol.
Oh, good idea. Give him a fake name for me too.
Yeah, I'm Marisol, and this is Chad. And we've been hiking for a long time. And our pet otter wolf is just behind us because we can't tell him that we're alone. And we were just getting really thirsty, and we thought maybe we could see if you could spare us some very clear, healthy water.
Well, there's a whole creek outside. I don't know why you're bothering me about this.
I saw the creek, thank you.
And you have a pet what now?
It's the otter wolf. Have you not heard of the otter wolf? They're very
not heard of the otter wolf. Listen, I'm very busy here in my poison factory, and I need to keep things moving along here.
That's fine. Good riddance. Enjoy your Armani suit.
How did you know the name of my tailor?
We're buddies. Joe.
All right, well, don't bother me again. And he slams the door shut and stomps off.
Okay, well, that went well.
Uh-oh, Marisol. That guy's not very nice.
Yeah, I have a feeling that was like one of those like lesser demon things. The lesser demons are always handsome and in nice suits, but he wasn't very handsome.
He wasn't very handsome.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm sure some people are into that. I don't mean to yuck anyone's yum, you know.
That's fair. Just not for me.
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere out there's just like a posting in a tavern saying, searching for grumpy middle-aged poisoner or whatever.
Yeah, and with a footnote that he always wears Armani suits.
Yeah, what should we do, though?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we could just keep going, or we could check out the mine. Do you think he was lying? I mean, he was sketchy. There's something going on here. Should we figure that out, or should we just keep going?
Didn't he say he ran a poison factory? Isn't that sketchy enough?
That's very sketchy. Yeah, it's not just bad vibes. He was honest about his sketchiness. Yeah, so maybe we should avoid the mine. Should we just keep going? I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm not very good about figuring out stuff. But
you're my spirit guide. You're supposed to tell me what to do with my life.
Wait, I'm your spirit guide? Oh no!
Surprise!
Wait. No. I'm your sidekick. It's a different archetype.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
You know how like Sebastian in The Little Mermaid isn't a very good spirit guide. Like,
I was picturing you more as oh my gosh, what's the fish's name?
Sebastian.
No,
Flounder.
Flounder. I was picturing you more.
Yeah, no, I think Flounder is more apt. But again, not a very good spirit guide. Very sweet, heart of gold, all of that. But like, I don't know about wisdom. Like, But well, let me see. Okay, and he like pushes a little pause against his face. What if you tried to listen to the part of yourself that wants to climb the mountain?
Oh, you're so wise, Mocha.
I am wise. I deserve some minnows. But let's get them upstream from the poison.
Yeah, let's keep going.
So yeah, you tromp along. So another couple of days pass, and you're way up into the mountains now. The air is a little bit thin, so you have to go slower. Mocha is constantly complaining about it. There's these beautiful, like, woven and carved rope bridges that go across various crevasses, ravines, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that someone has made, probably like from the wear and tear on it, 100 years ago or 200 years ago or something. And you also kind of leave behind any sign that other humans come here with any regularity. There's definitely some, like, if we had more time, we would do some of the challenges you do along the way. So like you have to get through a swarm of flying snakes, but you're able to like dodge through them with your Taekwondo skills, and you have to like, at one point you like accidentally come between a bear and her cubs, but like Mocha is like very friendly and like knows the bear from middle school.
Mocha, the little diplomat.
Exactly, yeah. But you come up short when you come to one of these chasms right before maybe about a quarter mile before the peak of the Talon Cliffs that you're heading to. And the bridge is, one side of it has rotted away, so it's just hanging from the far side of the crevasse.
So we are up against the cliff, and we have no way of getting across.
Yeah, you could go back, but you can't go. You can't take the bridge across without heavy repairs.
Okay.
And like a grappling hook or something.
We have one of those in the backpack, don't we?
I think I would have you make a hiking roll, and if you rolled high, then sure, you brought a grappling hook with you. But that's very far. Guess we'll have to go back to the village and get some minnows.
Yeah, shoot. How are we going to get across? We're so close to the top. It's right there.
You could probably throw me across.
Oh, I would love to throw you across at this point.
Oh, but then I wouldn't have any way to get back. Don't do that. Don't throw me across.
I would never. Okay.
So at this moment, you hear the call of a bird, and it's not a bird with which you are familiar. And a big bird just like passes over you, and you're like briefly in her shadow, and then she flies across the ravine, the crevasse, and then just disappears behind the mountain.
I can't decide if I am worried about the bird, because my first reaction to like birds of prey is like, watch out for the chickens, or in this case, Mocha, or inspired by the bird who would just like so effortlessly flew across. I know what happens. Can I say what happens? The bird comes and grabs Mocha off my shoulder.
And takes off?
And takes off. And so I feel this like I have to save Mocha. I have to protect
her. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so the bird loops back around, and she's like, I'm inclined for her to not be a real kind of bird, so she's like, kind of looks like an eagle, but about twice as big as a bald eagle. And she looks like, frankly, like she could just like grab you by the shoulders and like throw you off the cliff, but instead she grabbed Mocha.
Yeah.
Like, whoa! Um, and carries him and actually lands on the other side of the crevasse and just like looks at you while she holds him as if she's about to eat him.
Okay. And I like am reaching after Mocha because it's like it happens really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm reaching after Mocha, like trying to grab him, and I start falling off the cliffside. And then that's when I get my wings.
Yes. So yeah, tell me what it looks like.
Okay, so I'm falling, and at first I'm like scared, like closing my eyes, like this is it. And then like I don't know, there's like a buoyancy or something like inside of me, and then like all of a sudden I'm like gliding. I can't decide if I can just glide or if I can like push off and. Okay, so I start gliding, and then I realize I can like actually like I have. I don't know. Yeah, I have wings, and I can like flap and like go up also.
So do you fly? Are you able to like fly on your own enough to like just land right next to the bird and take Mocha back, or are you able to like, or can you just like glide over to where the bridge has fallen and you can climb it like a ladder?
Yeah, so I'm like definitely like shaky, like not used to this, like very much like freaking out. And so I kind of crash land into the eagle, and who just like kind of looks at me and then just like flies away. And then like Mocha's just fine, and we're all like freaking out. It's like, what the heck?
Can I do a little more with the eagle? She drops Mocha. She like reels back, having been bashed into by you, and then she just like flies away. But like just as she's like about to like turn the corner and like dive back down below the Talon cliffs, she, you know how birds of prey especially can like turn their heads like ridiculous angles. She like turns her head back and just like makes eye contact with you. Mm-hmm. And it's probably just for a second, but it's one of those like eye contact moments that feels like your whole life.
Yeah.
And then she's gone.
Yeah. I think actually that Mocha and I need to turn back and go back to the guy and the mine shaft. Because I think I figured out why we're hiking.
I think rather than do that scene, let's do a little, not denouement, but a little like closing scene where like you, so you're like staggered, you're holding Mocha. Mocha's like, whoa, that was wild. And you do like stagger another little bit to the summit. Yeah, and from the summit, you like look out at the whole land. Yeah. And you can see that mine with the poison. Yeah. But you can also see like all the rest of the land and like other spots that might need some care or protection or intervention. Yeah. And like you have, and it feels, and maybe like staring out at the landscape feels the same as like having made eye contact with that great bird. Mm-hmm. And we like see you like tighten the grip on your hiking stick or whatever, and like look at the mine and like turn back to like go do what you need to do, and like end of episode. Yeah.
End scene. I love that.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Usually at the end of a game like this, especially with a group, I would say, why don't you say a thing you appreciated about your own participation, a thing you appreciated about someone else's participation, and a moment that will stay with you. So yeah, let's do that. So something you appreciated about your own participation, I guess mine, and you know, the other person's participation, and a moment that will stay with you. Yeah, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, I liked that. I was like, I'm talking for myself, not the character, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that I was able to get caught up in like Kate. Yeah, so that's one thing that I liked about my participation, and just like go with it. I liked that I think that you embodied Mocha really well somehow.
Oh, yay. I'm glad.
Almost like the comic relief side character. And also I liked that moments when I like couldn't quite figure out how to go forward, you like would guide, you would like provide options, and then I could go with that. And And then a moment that would stick with me, I really like how you made sure we got to the top, and that looking out on the like mountainscape felt like looking at the eagle. And that was when I like realized my kind of like purpose, which like makes sense. I also like that I paid it like as we were going away from the mine, I was like, there's something more here. There's like we need to come back. And then yeah. So that was interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, I also liked all of that. I really liked I think we kind of established it, but the theme of like travelers, but travelers who go with friends or travelers who go with a companion. And just getting to let that be not only a like helpful story trope for the like solo game where like there's like somebody to talk to, you know, but also like that's a through line. And so I did not think to have the giant bird take Mocha. And so I love that that's where you went with it, because I think like there's just a lot there for me in terms of the way that like loving a person or an animal can like draw us into all kinds of like the most beautiful trouble and sense of call. I mean, honestly, like the thing with looking at the vista or looking at the landscape and recognizing it as like that is also going to stay with me. But the moment I want to name is leaving the bunnies, where like they don't understand why you're leaving, and you also don't understand why you're leaving, and you're still doing it, and they're still staying. I don't. There's just something really that felt really true about that, and it was fun to play bunny. Yeah, so that's the thing. And we'll talk about this more next week. And I mean, we spoke on the phone and just naming like to have some days to let it percolate and let it breathe, but to also come to it fresh enough to say, what are we trying to do here, and what are we and we can we can get into like technique stuff a little bit, but to just I think it is a really rich tool for spiritual exploration, and I think a lot of folk who use it for that don't ever call it that, and that's fine. But just I mean, and I loved your character, and that she was so much like you and so different. I don't know you that well, but like I think to like whatever characters I play end up being that, even if they're not as and so it's cool to like have it be like a very like obviously I don't know some version of you. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Didn't roll the 20-sided die very often.
Yeah, it's okay. It was a nice fidget that I could play with.
It's great for that, and I would like you can't have a die roll for like do my magical bird powers work or do I die at the bottom of the cliff? You know what I mean? Like part of the technique is like no, don't roll for that. That's just what happens. Yeah.
That's
so
yeah. That was cool. Yeah,
I love it.
That's all for this episode of Called to Be Bad. Keep being your bad, beautiful selves, and I will see you next time.